That face when paths are no longer a spoiler in the anime of Attack on Titan. This episode has a lot of bombshells and just even more answers, but I'm sure some more questions as well. The way I always do these reviews, if I do know the source material, I don't say anything I didn't say when I was first reading the manga, so you don't have to worry that I'm going to bring up future information or clarify things that shouldn't be clarified at this point in time. I only use the knowledge that has already been revealed up to the point in the anime. But this episode, I think, reveals the biggest spoiler and just shocking revelation that no one saw coming, that the English title, Attack on Titan, is actually a mistranslation of Shingeki no Kyojin. Because if you actually translate Shingeki no Kyojin, like, I believe the proper translation would be Advanced Titans, but that's not very much of a catching name. No one's really gonna want to watch Advanced Titans. And because no one knew what Isayama was building up to all along, they didn't want to call it Attack Titan because that just doesn't sound right, so maybe Attack on Titans. That sounds a bit better. Attack on Titan. Why not use that? And then Isayama's probably been laughing for so long, being like, these dumbasses don't even understand what the Attack Titan even is. I love that. It's always been something that always cracked me up, because knowing Isayama, he probably had a grin on his face, realizing what the local translation was for his very bizarre but also incredibly well-written series. Now, pass. Memories are very important. Memory is the key in Attack on Titan, and I'm not going to explain how or why this completely works and the technicalities. I'm only going to touch on what has been revealed at this point in the anime and how confused I was when I first read the manga. We have Eren Kruger and Grisha Jaeger talking, and they name drop Mikasa and Armin. Whose memories are these? They've never met these characters. These characters have yet to be born. Yet somehow he knew the names of someone he's never met. Someone that was close to Eren. Eren shares their memories somehow. It's seeming like the memories go back and forth. That was something that's always been so shocking when I first read the manga, was that, holy hell, memories don't even just go back, but they can also go forward in time, as seen by just the memories being shared by two separate people in two different periods of time. That's always something that's been so creative, as Isayama has just laid out such an interesting narrative. Do you remember the first episode of Attack on Titan? What the hell was Eren dreaming about? There you go. Like, I still don't know exactly everything he's been dreaming about, but still, like, the way memories and just these paths connect, that everything starts at the coordinate, the founding Titan, everything links up at this spot, and the way it can connect is just insane and leads to so many possibilities. It's so amazing. Isayama is just a mastermind at what he crafted in this story. Not only do they drop the idea of past, they drop that Eren has a time limit. Armin has a time limit. Once you inherit one of the 9 Titans, you have 13 years to live. After that moment, you will die, and if someone doesn't inherit your Titan, it will randomly go to a subject of Ymir, a baby who was born. That's how this works. Ymir was killed 13 years after basically having this power. Her soul got split up into 9 pieces, and anyone who inherits this curse will die 13 years later. Eren inherited this Titan when he was 10. He's 15 now. He has 8-ish years left to live. Armin has about 13 years left to live. And this has always been one of my favorite moments in this section of the story. Even with all the bombshells of past and just the limit, it's what it does to Mikasa, because she literally has no family left. Everyone who was her biological family, dead. Her adoptive family is going to die in 8 to 13 years. This can't be true. That is such a painful revelation, not only just for the characters that it's inflicting, but the ones that surround them and love them. Isayama in this episode, this is a season, this is a story that has so many big bombshells that you would typically expect 1, maybe 2 of before the season wraps up. We have season 3 part 2, which just drops bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. And I don't think we're ever going to have another season of anime just like this, because it is just so shocking. Not only does it change everything that you knew about the story up to this point, it also just changes everywhere that the future of the story is going to go. That literally, that you can't even give someone the founding Titan. That if Eren was to die and say Historia takes it, her memories will just be corrupt by the king's wills. They'll be lost, so she can't even have it. If Eren reveals that, hey, I think I touched my father's ex-wife in Titan form and that's why I could use the power, they're probably going to experiment on Historia, and that's the last thing that he would want. Eren literally just had his entire world turned upside down about 1,000 times over. He's feeling so dizzy and disoriented because not only does he have these memories that aren't his, he now has to decide how the hell does he move forward and essentially save their people, because Really, history is wrote by the victors. One side views the Eldians as devils, and the Eldians, of course, will view themselves as basically the savior. And then there will be other people who just think it was a random girl who maybe understood the kind of concept of the universe overall. This is just such a remarkable episode, and I believe it was like 3 episodes back I said that there was going to be a few more episodes that could probably top my favorite episode of the season, which was Armin or Erwin. This episode I think is technically better, but I still want to side on that one just for the emotional impact, but this is what it's so great about this season. 10 episodes where pretty much every episode can match, if not top, the quality of the previous week, which was just like jaw on the floor. Even if you read the manga, did they really just go there? They foreshadowed things that I wasn't expecting to be foreshadowed because it wasn't in the original manga, and I'm just like, thank God Wit Studio is adapting this because they just lay the foundation so damn well. If you remember season 2's credits, you probably thought it was some weird imagery, and then in comes this season, which is just like jaw on the floor. I love this episode. It is just pure dialogue of just holy shit. Why didn't you save her? Why did you save me? Your hatred is what made you the perfect candidate. Seeing that you went outside the wall, seeing how much pain you had, matching my own. You see a man who for 13 years had to kill his own people, waiting for the day that hopefully he could retake that Titan. And if we remember, Grisha did take that Titan back. He did kill the royal family and steal that power. So Eren does have both of those powers. He does have the attack Titan, which was Eren Kruger, as well as the founding Titan, which was from the royal family that was kind of locking their people away and altering memories. So his mission did get completed, just maybe not in the way that he was expecting. This episode, it's just so explosive. I knew exactly what they were going to adapt in this week's episode, and I was still at the edge of my seat because this is just so ridiculous. You think that, like, okay, we open up the world and this is what we experience. We understand what the outside world is now looking like, the modern technology, you know, they're just basically separating people, treating them like dogs, and then it's just like, okay, we're going to change everything that you knew about Titans. We're going to give them a time limit. We're going to give them this weird linking memory ability. Why can memories go back and forth? Is it based on a certain tick, or is it just something that naturally happens to all these people? You don't understand, because Isayama answers the biggest question. What's outside those walls? He answers that. Not only does he give you the future of that story being like, I don't know how this is going to continue to be expanded, but then he also just shifts everything that you knew about Titans and memories and the people, and you're just like, how does he do this, and how did he have this plan for so long? This is the difference between an author who has a few arcs planned in his head versus an entire story plan. A good author who can really see the finer details, lay that shit down in the very first chapter, the very first episode, and then 10 years later, or, in the case of the anime, a bit less than that, you can come out saying, like, holy shit, this man is an absolute mad lad, and I can't thank him enough. This is one of the people I would love to interview, like, 5 years after Attack on Titan's over. He no longer has the hype of the series in his mind. Just break down how the hell does his mind operate that he could come up with this, because that would be just such a remarkable interview, just even for myself, not even to share, just to really get inside this guy's mind. The passion behind this team, goddamn, please Wit Studio do the next season, because this is pure fans giving it their all. I know this doesn't make them money because it's all on the production committee, sadly, but still, like, you just see these subtle, expansive scenes that they didn't need to do. It would have been fine just a proper translation of just page for page, but they add in that extra touch, the way they frame these shots, really getting into their minds and psyche, and you're just like, holy shit, this is a passion project. You learn so much, but still have so many questions. And I remember leaving the month's chapter where I was just like, did he really just say Armin? Mikasa? And I was left for a month just foaming at the mouth, being just so mind blown. And this just got that across even a bit better just with how they delivered this. Attack on Titan is my favorite story across all media. Anime, manga, doesn't matter where we're looking. Western television, movies, video games. This is my favorite story because I've never felt such a connection to an author who can plan so far ahead and just blow your mind. Even after you think you have all the big reveals, he'll throw more at you, which will then lead to more questions about where this is going. You literally just shook your entire main character's worldview. How is he going to evolve past this? This is why Attack on Titan is so spectacular. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to be an asshole and spoil exactly how the past and memories kind of operate. That'd be a dick thing to do that I'll leave for 99% of the anime channels out there because they're assholes. But still, like, you get an idea because you have Eren who somehow has their memories and somehow they have theirs. That's not a spoiler, that's what you just seen. But you can start theorizing, you can start speculating, and I did for months, being like, what in the actual hell, why is this operating in the way it is? And that's the brilliance of Isayama, is that he doesn't have one trick up his sleeve, he literally has an entire deck of cards that he sprinkles every so often, and then depending on the arc, he'll lay out half the deck and being like, ha, you thought I was done? Oh no, you dumb bastard, I still got a few tricks up my sleeve. Where this series will go in Season 4, I am dying to see anime, because not only is this season going to end on one of my favorite parts of the manga and just such a perfect conclusion to what we know of Attack on Titan, and beginning the next and final chapter of the story is remarkable, but I just love it. It really just makes me happy and excited to see just the passion and the delivery of how they explored such complex situations. You're literally revealing to the characters that they're going to die in 8 to 13 years, literally breaking apart relationships, shaking up the queen who is now going to be kind of the head of this kingdom, and hell, if you tell them the truth of how you think your powers work, they're probably going to experiment on her. You literally have just the complex nature of past and these memories and why they operate the way they do. You have the beautiful letter between Historia and Ymir, just, I wish I could marry you. If that doesn't get a reaction out of you, you're a cold bastard, hands down. I love what they did in this episode. It is just so emotional. It's payoff for previous seasons while exploring new and interesting subject matter that you didn't think you were going to have. This was an incredible episode of Attack on Titan. And like with last week, I'm dying to hear Anime Only's thoughts and theories of where they think this is going to go, because I had my own when I was reading the manga, and I'm sure it's going to be no exception with people watching the anime. So let me know your thoughts down in that comment section below. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have any new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.